Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole flock of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. The Most High, the Heavenly Father, His Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah. It's Yahweh. And His only begotten Son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shai. So I got to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rekah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether accepted or not. And a sincere salutation to all the octane pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Outwalk who are listening and learning. If you sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah from GMS Orlando Camp coming at you with another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another day of edification, Lord willing, is be edifying. Another Saturday edification. And I titled this lesson, The Way of Holiness in the Midst of Dragons. The highway of holiness in the midst of dragons. Now the Lord said in Deuteronomy 30 that after we go through the cursing, after we go through the blessings and the curses, because He blessed us first, and then we forsook the Lord and He cursed us. So after we went through the blessings and the curses, He was going to bring us home eventually, right? In Deuteronomy chapter 30, when you read 1 through 5, the Lord say after He put us through the blessings and the curses, in the midst of these nations, that He was going to bring us home eventually. So I want to got this word eventually here.
Eventually.
They say eventually, like it said in Deuteronomy 30, the Lord was going to bring us home anyway. But we had to go through this. We had to go through these trials and tribulations, these adversities and afflictions. But in the end, the Lord is going to set up a highway, an avenue, a narrow path for us to return home in a single file line. Okay, because it tell you in 2 Ezra 7 that the path is so narrow that only one man can enter there at once. And that means the path is so narrow that it's a single file line. And that means going back to the kingdom of heaven in decency and in order. Okay, that's what that means. Everything being we are returning to the kingdom of heaven in order. So it say eventually in the end, especially after a long delay. You see, after a long delay of what? Slavery, man. In the end, especially after a long delay, dispute, or a series of problems. Similar words say in the end, in due course, by and by, in time, say finally, at last, at long last, ultimately, in the long run, in the fullness of time, they say at the end of the day, one day, these fine days, someday, sometime, sooner or later, when all is said and done. And what's going to be said and done? Our iniquities, man. Okay, being refreshed, being replenished, being returned. What's it called? Reconciliation, right? So eventually, the Lord's going to bring us home. Because it tell you in Deuteronomy 30 when you read it, that after we went through the blessing and the cursing, the Lord is going to bring us home anyway, man. So let's get these precepts. So now I was meditating about this, man. In the midst, in the midst of living amongst these devils, the Lord said He was going to create an avenue for us, man. So let's get this, and I'm gonna start here in Deuteronomy, because the Lord said this in Deuteronomy 32, right? It said right here. Verse 32. It say, this after we sinned against the Lord, and the Lord said this was going to happen to us, right? Matter of fact, let's read this in verse 30, right? It said, how shall one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock have sold them and the Lord have shut them up, right? Without the Lord, we was going to be destroyed, man. He wasn't going to have any covering. Verse 31, for their rock is not as our rock, to our enemies, even our enemies themselves being judges. Nobody could have came up against us, say the Lord had put us away, man. Verse 32, this is going to happen to us after we sin against the Lord. For their vine is the vine of Sodom, and of the fields of Gomorrah, their grapes are the grapes of gall, their clusters are bitter. Verse 33 is the point. Their wine is the poison of dragons. What the Lord said in Ezekiel 4 and 13, we shall eat our bread defiled among the Gentiles, right? When you read Mark 16, it said we shall drink poisons and not be killed. Well, the Lord said their wine is the poison of dragons. What's our wine? The philosophies, the so-called white man's doctrines of life, right? His philosophies, his plantation Christianity, religion. Their wine, even when you go to college, right? Getting school, white supremacy. It said their wine is the poison of dragons and the cruel venom of asps. You see? So the Lord got us living amongst these dragons, and we was going to be destroyed by their wine, which is their philosophies, man. But the Lord said he was going to bring us home. Now let's get this. The point is their wine is the poison of dragons, our wine, because we sin against the Lord, and the cruel venom of asps, which is the so-called white man, the dragons. We're going to further prove that. This is Isaiah. Showing you that we need a reset. Some slow belly came on the comment board I saw yesterday, and he said in the video that I did about we need a reset. He said, "Boy, stop! I don't need a reset. You do." That show you how destroyed he is. When I went to his channel, it wasn't nothing on it, man. He told my boy, "Stop! I don't need a reset. You do." No, all Israel need a reset, man. We don't have a financial problem. It's sovereignty, man. But Jake, and that's what the Lord said, in which I read the other day in the lesson I did in Jeremiah 5 and 3. The Lord have stricken us, but we have not grieved. He have consumed us, but we refuse to receive correction. Jake said, "Boy, stop! I don't need the factory reset. You do." Showing you don't got nothing on your channel, you need a reset too. Because if you came on my channel, you done came on other videos, watching other different teachings, and you know that you're a Hebrew Israelite and you ain't doing nothing about it. But Jake, like the scripture tell you, Jake will find an excuse for everything, man, not to do this work, man. Was in Sirach. Actually, there's 2 chapters in Sirach that tell you that Jake will find an excuse for everything, man, not to do this work, man. Isaiah 92. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them have the light shine. Who is the them? The hopeful elect, man. Right? Because we living in the shadow of death, man. Amongst who? Dragons, man. This is Job 10. It's Job 10 and 22. It reads. Let's read 21. Before I go whence, I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death. A land of darkness, as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death, without any order. See, there's no order here. See, in America, it tell you in Revelation 17 that Babylon the Great, America, known as the mother of all harlots, right? You can worship any idol here, man. You don't have to serve Yahweh Shema Bashah. You can worship any idol, man. You want to be Hinduism, a Rastafarianism, you want to serve Buddha, right? You want to serve Allah, any idol, any religion, you can worship him. It's a land of darkness, as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death, without any order, and where the light is as darkness. You see, that's Babylon the Great, man. But it said in Isaiah 9 and 2, the people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them have the light shine. That's the hopeful elect. This is Isaiah 35. We're gonna start at 3. See, that's why the Lord say, don't worry about 2/3, man. We're gonna mention them because we seeing how because the whole elect is seeing what not to do, man. But they not important, man. Isaiah 35 and 3. Strengthen ye the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. Say to them that are of fearful heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, your power will come with vengeance, even power with a recompense. He will come and save you. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. Then shall the lame man leap as an hart, and the tongue of the dumb sing. For in the wilderness, what wilderness? North America, Babylon the Great, shall waters break out. What waters? The truth, man. John 7:38 say, he that believeth on me, as the scriptures have said, out of his belly your mind shall flow rivers of living water. Remember Deuteronomy 32 and 2, the Lord say, his doctrine shall distill as the dew. Okay, his doctrine shall rain down, right, upon the tender herb, which is the hopeful elect. The whole elect is the tender herb. For in the wilderness shall waters break out and streams in the desert. Remember the valley of dry bones, Ezekiel 37? And the parched ground, what's parched mean? To be dried up. So the valley of dry bones, Ezekiel 37. And the parched ground shall become a pool. Because now the Lord, what King David said in Psalm 23, my cup overrunneth. What is this overrunning? The wisdom, man. The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shem Shai is overflowing right here in Babylon the Great, man. This is the reason of things. That was another title I was going to do. This is the reason of things. This is why Babylon the Great is falling. This is why the world is collapsing. This is why the infrastructure is deteriorating. Why? Because of the waters, man. Of Yahweh Shem Shai, man. The Lord said his doctrine shall distill as the dew, man. And everything on planet Earth is being laid waste because the truth is flourishing, man. And the parched ground shall become a pool, which is the valley of dry bones, first and foremost, right here in Babylon the Great. And the thirsty land springs of water. Remember the Lord say, anyone that's thirsty, come ye, buy and eat, right? The hopeful elect, man. And the parched ground shall become a pool. And the thirsty land, what thirsty land? The valley of dry bones, North America, Babylon the Great, springs of water. Here's the point I want to make. It say, in the habitation of dragons. Who are the dragons? Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the Roman Empire, the revived Roman Empire. North America is the revived Roman Empire, man. Whether you can accept it or not, man. We in Rome all over again, man. Remember what Herod tried to do to Yahweh when he was born? Right? That's how you know who the dragon is in Revelation 12 and 13. We talk about that dragon, man. That dragon is the Roman Empire. You said that the dragon wanted to slay the child. Soon as the woman gave birth to the child, that was Yahweh being born, man. And it's a double fold scripture because it's talking about Israel being destroyed by the so-called white man, by the Romans, by the Greeks and the Romans, man. Okay, this is the dragon, the Roman Empire, man. It's in the habitation of dragons where each lay. Who lay? Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. It says shall be grass with reeds and rushes springing up. The tender herb, man. Us, man. In the habitation of dragons, where each lay shall be grass with reeds of rushes. Right? Look, and an highway shall be there. What's the highway? That narrow path, man. Matthew 7, 13 and 14, man. There's a narrow path here amongst the dragons, man. But the Lord had to reactivate you to this, man. And the highway shall be there, and a way, and it should be called the way of holiness. The unclean should not pass over it. 2/3 can't get on this path. But it shall be for those, the wayfaring men, the hopeful elect, men and women, but men first. The Lord called these men first. It said, "Thou fools shall not err therein. No lion shall be there." Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Remember what it said in 1 Peter 5 and 8, right? As a roaring lion, he seeketh about who he may devour. No lion shall be there, nor any ravenous beast. What the Lord called it, what the Lord called the heathen nations. In Ezekiel, in Ecclesiastes 3, right? What is that? Ecclesiastes 3, 18 and 19. He said they are beasts, man. Okay? The sons of men are beasts. They heathens. They don't got the law, statute, and commandments. So they are nothing. No lion shall be there, nor any ravenous beast shall go upon therein. Shall go upon what? The highway of holiness, man. It's only for the hopeful elect. It shall not be found there, but the redeemed shall walk there, and the ransomed of the Lord. And it show you how these slow-bellied niggas like Marcus Rogers don't read the scriptures, talk about Deuteronomy 28 and 68, ain't talking about Israel being sold. It say, but because that word, when you look at that word buy in Deuteronomy 28 and 68, when it said no man shall buy you, that word mean redeem when you look it up. The word buy mean redeem. It said, but the redeemed shall walk there. Walk well. The highway of holiness. The redeemed shall walk there. And the ransomed. Future prophecy. Not ransom, ransomed of Yahweh shall return. You see, Deuteronomy 30. The Lord said, once we go through the blessings and the curses, he's going to bring us home, man. And the ransom of Yahweh shall return and come to Zion with songs and everlasting joy upon their heads. They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away. There's a highway being established, man. Let's get this. In Isaiah 42. Jake don't know what's going on. So we know the heathens don't know what's going on. It's Isaiah 42 and 16. They say, and I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not. We didn't know this way. Remember, the Lord took it from us, right? Jeremiah 17 and 9. We shall discontinue from our heritage, man. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4, right? That they should not come except they come a falling away first. So Lord say, Isaiah 42 and 16, and I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known, which is to be righteous, man. The Lord reactivated you, and you put off the old man, the old woman, and put on the new man and the new woman. I will make darkness light. You see, remember what I brought out in Isaiah 9? I will make darkness light before them and crooked things straight. When you read in Ecclesiastes 7, the Lord said, what he had made crooked cannot be straightened, man. And that's talking about the serpent, the dragon. He made the so-called white man to be the wicked. And crooked things straight, these things will I do unto them, who? The hopeful elect, and not forsake them. You see? You see? And not forsake them, man. The hopeful elect, man. This is Isaiah 43 and 18. You read this when you start at verse 10 in this chapter, it's talking about the witnesses. But when you start at 1, it's talking about Jacob, right? It say, remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. What? What's some of the main things to consider of old, man? One in particular I want to mention. When you read in Ecclesiastes chapter 2. Remember this, man, because this is about Israel returning home. Remember this. The Lord said it again in Deuteronomy 30 that he was going to bring us home, man. After we went through the blessings and the curses, he was going to bring us home anyway. We had to go through these trials and tribulations, these adversities and afflictions. So it said again, Isaiah 43 and 18, remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. What? Right here. Ecclesiastes 2 and 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in Yahweh Shemawashah and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? You see, for the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in the time of affliction, man. So it's a lot of things that happened of old, but the main thing is what? We was delivered out of captivity, man. Every time. Egypt, serving the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Hamites, the Philistines. We did that, man. When you read the book of Judges, but the Lord saved us, man. Matter of fact, before I continue, let's get this. In Judges, just to show this, in Judges 10, right? Let's read some of this. Just to make the point here. So in Judges 10, right? Look at this. It's a Judges 10 and 6. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord, and served Balaam and Ashtoreth, and the gods of Syria, and the gods of Zidon, and the gods of Moab, and the gods of the children of Ammon, and the gods of the Philistines, and forsook Yahweh and served not him. And the anger of Yahweh was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hand of the Philistines and into the hands of the children of Ammon. You see, it say, verse 8, also that year they vexed and oppressed the children of Israel 18 years. All the children of Israel that were on the side of Jordan, in the land of the Amorites, which is in Gilead. Moreover, the children of Ammon passed over Jordan to fight also against Judah and against Benjamin and against the house of Ephraim, so that Israel was sore distressed. And what? And the children of Israel cried unto Yahweh, saying, we have sinned against thee, both because we have forsaken our power and also served Balaam. And Yahweh said unto the children of Israel, did not I deliver you from the Egyptians and from the Amorites, from the children of Ammon and from the Philistines, the Zidonians also, and the Amalekites and the Moabites did oppress you, and ye cried to me, and I delivered you out of their hand. You see, yet ye have forsaken me and served other gods, wherefore I will deliver you no more. So the Lord said, that last run, that was it, man. That was it. So he was going to leave us in the hand of these. We was going to live amongst these dragons for a long period of time, man. But he was going to bring us home. But we had to really suffer, man. We had to really go through this because the Lord was hot with us, man. Because we kept doing it over and over, serving other gods, man. And the Lord got tired of it. And Jake always had their animals ready to sacrifice them to the Lord every time they went and committed spiritual adultery, worshiping other gods, or they went and committed adultery, sleep with another brother's sister. Jake always had their animals ready to sacrifice when they got back, and the Lord got tired of that, man. That's why he said, no more will I accept your burnt offerings, man. The only way was this correction, man, to be punished and corrected, man, with heavy bondage, man. And we have no worse of bondage than Egypt. Well, right here in Babylon the Great, serving under these dragons, the so-called white man, this had been the worst captivity ever, man. Isaiah 43 and 18, remember ye not the former things, neither consider things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Remember it said in Jeremiah, they will no more say the Lord liveth, that brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but how he delivered us, Lord willing, from the land of the north. And out of all countries where he have scattered us, it's going to be a new thing, man. Yahweh Shema Shah's name will be magnified, man. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness. What's the way? The highway of holiness. And rivers in the desert. The beasts of the field shall honor me. What beasts is these? Because remember, we all are beasts. The beasts of the field shall honor me. The dragons and the owls. What dragons and owls are these? This talking about the hopeful elect. Remember Yahweh said, be wise as a serpent and humble as a dove. Dragons are serpents, right? The dragons and the owls, because I give waters in the wilderness. What water? The truth. So these dragons and owls, this is the hopeful elect. And rivers in the desert, and give drink to my people, who? Dragons and owls, the wise ones, my chosen. This people have I formed for myself. They shall show forth my praise. So right here in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, the Lord has given us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding back, man. And he's making a way for us to return. Yahweh Shah is making a way for us to return back to Yahweh, man. This is Shalaki. This is Isaiah 49 and verse 8. See? It says salvation reaches to the end of the earth, man. The hopeful elect, man. Because the Lord said he was going to bring us home regardless, man. This whole chapter fire, but I want to read the point right here. It say, verse 8 say, thus saith Yahweh, in an acceptable time have I heard thee, and in the day of salvation have I helped thee, and I will preserve thee. It said preserve, man. So when you go to the word, when you go and look at when these devils try to say, oh, everybody can be grafted in, he no, the Lord said I will preserve you, man. Preserve meaning you saved, man. You always saved some of what you had. You know how you people put, you got people in the country that put stuff in jars, honey, peaches, and they preserve it for a time. The Lord said, and I will preserve thee. Meaning he never done away with Israel, man. It say the Lord have not cast away his people, and give thee for a covenant of the people to establish the earth, to cause to inherit the desolate heritages. What's desolate? What's our desolate heritages? Israel, man. Because we are not known in the streets, as I tell you in Lamentations 4, man. We are not known. He said he's going to call in an acceptable time have I heard thee, and in the day of salvation I have helped thee, and I will preserve thee and give thee for a covenant of the people to establish the earth, to call to inherit the desolate heritages, that thou mayest say to the prisoners, go forth, to them that are in darkness, show yourself. To who that is in darkness? To show ourselves. Remember it said in Isaiah 9 and 2, they that walk in darkness have seen a great light. Go forth to them that are in darkness, show yourselves. They shall feed in the ways. What ways? In the highways and hedges, in the streets and lanes of the cities, man. They shall feed in the ways, and their pastures shall be in all high places. What's these high places? The downtown areas, the chief place of the cities, man. Where you see the prophets at, where you see the messengers at, man. They shall feed in the ways, the highways and hedges, the streets and lanes, and their pastors shall be in all high places. The pastors of the Lord is out there in the highways and hedges, man. They shall not hunger nor thirst, neither shall the heat nor sun smite them, for he that have mercy on them shall lead them, even by the springs of water shall he guide them. What springs of water? The truth, man. The rivers of living water. And I will make all my mountains a way, and my highway shall be exalted. You see, the Lord's highway has been exalted. That narrow path back to the kingdom. Behold, these shall come from far, and lo, these from the north, North America, Babylon the Great, and from the west, and these from the land of Sinim. Because we scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. When you go to the word Sinim, it goes into Asia Minor. You see? Let's get this. This is Isaiah 11 and 15. It reads, and Yahweh shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and smite it in the seven streams, and make men go over dry shod. And there shall be a highway for the remnant. You see? And there shall be an highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt. You see? And there shall be an highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel, our forefather, in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt. When the Israelites came home out of Egypt, man. Okay? It's going to be a highway again right here in Babylon the Great, North America, man. This is, let's get this. Look what the Lord said in Psalms. This is what King David said. I think this was, let me see. Okay, this was Sons of Korah. Okay, to the Sons of Korah. So listen what it say. Psalms 44:19 it reads, though thou hast sore broken us, the hope, the elect, right? Israel, us like Israel. It say though thou hast sore broken us in the place of dragons and covered us with the shadow of death. You see, if we have forgotten the name of our power or stretched out our hand to a strange God, shall not power search this out? For he knoweth the secrets of the heart. But we've been living at, it said, though thou hast sore broken us, which the Lord did, in the place of dragons, and covered us with the shadow of death, man, where there is no order. You see, this is what Job said. We've been living amongst these dragons, man. This is Job 30 and 29. It reads, I am a brother to dragons and a companion to owls, man. Because these are the ones that the all seeing eye, right? The big brother, all seeing eye. I am a brother to dragons and a companion to owls, man. This is what we living at amongst dragons. But guess what? In Philippians, the Lord said he made a way, man. Philippians 2. For it is power which worketh in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure. Do all things without murmurings and disputings, that ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of power, without rebuke, in what? In the midst of a crooked, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights in the world. The Lord said we was going to be living amongst dragons, okay? But he was going to bring us home in the end, man. And hey, let's get this in Proverbs 4 and 25, it reads this. Let thine eyes look right on, and let thy eyelids look straight before thee. Don't like you said, when you put your hand on the plow, when you look back, the plow can go off its course. We looking straight, man. It said, let thine eyes look right on, and let thy eyelids look straight before thee. Ponder thy path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil. It's turn not to the right hand, nor to the left, right? When you go to Second Ezra, let me put it up here. Remember the highway, the highway. Remember the Lord said, the path to the kingdom of heaven is so narrow, but one man can enter there at once, right? So he said, don't turn to the right hand nor to the left, man. Because on this path is so narrow, it's only a straight shot, man. You can't turn sideways. Let's get it here in Second Ezra. This why, and this is staying focused on what's important, man, which is the kingdom of heaven, man. Because Esau got so much going on in the world, you'll get distracted, man, and want to be a part of this system, man. This is Second Ezra 7:6. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all. Salaki, I ain't even put it up. Bear with me. Salaki, my fault. So this Second Ezra 7. Second Ezra 7:6, it reads, there is also another thing. A city is built and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall. Why? Because we live in amongst dragons. And you can easily be distracted or be deceived here, man. Like I tell you in Matthew 24, if it were possible, the very elect can be deceived, man. But it's not possible. Because it tell you in Second Corinthians 2:11, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. And everything is set up for you to be distracted. Okay, all these different social media sites, right? Entertaining yourself, going out, having a good time, partying. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall. Like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. And one path, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water. You see, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there once. So showing you the kingdom of heaven, the highway, the pathway to the kingdom of heaven is so small, only one man can enter there at once. And that's a single file line. What it say in 1 Corinthians 14? That everything be done decently and in order. So if everybody walking in a single file line behind each other, walking to the kingdom of heaven, that's indecent. That's decently and in order, man. Okay. If this city now were given unto a man for inheritance, if he shall never pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? That's why the Lord made us go off, man, because we didn't appreciate the kingdom when we had it, man. Okay. So the Lord set it up that if he shall never pass the danger set before it, right? How shall he receive this inheritance? That's why I said Matthew 24:13, he that endure to the end, the same shall be saved. Because we got to go through danger. Okay? They tell you in what is that in Timothy? In the last days, it's perilous times shall come, man. So the kingdom of heaven is so small, that only one man can enter there at once, man. It's a narrow path. So let's get this. But the Lord made a way. He made a way living amongst these dragons, man. So back in let's go to Matthew. The path is so narrow to the kingdom, man. Matthew 7:13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. So it's many going to the wide gate, right? what it say, live banqueting, rioting, revelings, right? Partying and playing. Verse 14. Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. So you see, but in this narrow path that the Lord got the hope to let on, man, that's the highway to heaven, man. That's the highway to holiness. And the Lord did it in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, man. So the Lord willing to edify. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rikah Kodash. Give honors to the apostles and elder bishops and elders of great millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all Israel, already concepted or not. And the sincere salutation to all the often pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the 4 winds of the earth, the entire world, wicked and hopeful elect. And shalom to the all walk who are listening and learning, you few sisters who are listening and learning. Lord was edifying to next time I say shalom. Wa Kabab, the wife for tuning in. May you help us, Shema shall continue blessing your houses. Stay prayed up. What's up, bro? What's your question? Kwam Yasharaga, Mayaka. What's your question, bro? Bro, just hit me on the comment board, bro. Hit me on the comment board. Because I don't know if you're typing or what's going on, but